What is up, W Sports Podcast? Jimothy and Tubby are back for part 3 of our MLB breakdowns for each division. Yes, if you haven't already seen it, we've already done part 1 and 2, of course, and we've got the East and the Central divisions down. But today we are doing the West divisions and the AL and the NL. You know, Tubby's excited because this is his division, so he's ready to come and just give us the word for every single team. What's what we're going to do today. But Tubby, welcome back to the show.
Oh, yeah. Anytime in college basketball, Dodgers, I'm excited.
Right, yeah. So it's a tough day to be a Dodgers fan. Any day whenever they've had Shohei Ohtani. And here's the bad news. We're just going to jump to the chase because we're probably going to end with the Dodgers, but we're going to start today with the other team in Los Angeles, the Angels. Ugh, man. Yeah, you look at this team right now, 63-99 last year. Not a whole lot that they have inbound this year. I mean, they've done some little pieces here and there, but Tubby, I got to know, what is the one word to describe the Angels right now?
I put still. I mean,
Still?
They made moves. Yeah, they made moves this year. They weren't awful moves. I like the Jorge Soler and the Kikuchi, added, but you're still the Angels.
Still the Angels.
I mean, it's time to trade Trout.
Yeah.
It's just you're still the Angels.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I think my one word for them is more of a phrase. I'm here for Mike. Like, that's it. I'm just here to watch Mike Trout. Hopefully, he's healthy all year long. But let's flash back 5 years. Don't include Ohtani, fine. But if you told me the prospect Taylor Ward, Joe Adell, Logan O'Hoppe, Yohan Moncada, Jorge Soler, Mike Trout, Luis Grifo, I mean, this team, but none of it has been put together so far. Even Joe Adell. I mean, the dude is now 26 and he just hasn't ever clicked. I don't know. I'm just here for Mike. That's where it's at. I think this is a team that could push possibly another 95 plus loss season. I don't know if they're going to hit 100, but I think they could be pushed to 95.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So not a whole lot there. All right, let's move on. We're going to do what's the word for the Athletics. And I thought about just saying athletic, but I'm not. I'm going to say watch them. Just watch the Athletics. Not only for the fact that they are the Athletics, they're playing in Sacramento, they're playing in a minor league ballpark, but more so, I want to watch this team because of some of the players on here, like a Lawrence Butler, a Brent Rooker, a JJ Bleday. I do like some of the pieces on this team, so I'm not saying watch out. I'm just saying watch them. Watch this team. This year, Luis Severino, they obviously paid a ton of money. Jeffrey Spriggs, if he can come back, come back from this injuries the last couple of years, then he could be solid number 2. So I don't know. I'm going to watch him. I really am. I'm considering even getting an A's hat. This is where I'm at right now.
Whoa.
I love the colors, man. The yellow, the green.
Yeah.
It's just unfair.
I used to have the black and green A's hat, which was one of my favorite hats I ever had. But I put, okay. They have some young bats with some potential. You mentioned a few of them: Butler, Rooker, Tyler Soderstrom, Zach Geloff, Jacob Wilson is an up and coming young, shortstop. And I like some of the moves they made this year. Yeah, maybe they overpaid Severino, but you mentioned Jeffrey Springs. I really like the Jeffrey Springs move. When Springs was healthy with the Rays, he was really good. If he can get back to that, I think that they can be somewhat exciting. They've got some young, exciting players there. And I think the bullpen is going to be, what it always is, their strength. You add a guy like Jose Leclerc, who's older, but he's still a really good bullpen arm. So I think this team could be a little more exciting if some of these younger guys can really start to, reach some of their potential.
Yeah, this is a very lopsided minor league system too with the Athletics. Yeah. All of their team, almost all of their prospects are are they? Most of them are the pitching side. That's what I kind of see. I'm trying to see all the names, but I don't know. We'll see what that looks like as it kind of develops here. But that's why they need those bats to really take off.
Yep.
So, all right, Tubby, we're going to keep on moving on. Those are the bottom 2 teams. Everybody else in this division has at least some aspirations for postseason hopes moving this year. We had the Rangers, who obviously won the World Series a couple years ago. Here we are now, 78-84 last year. But what's the word for them?
So I got 2 words. I put, can they turn back the clocks to 2023? They've made some moves. I love the Jake Berger. We talked about the Jake Berger trade, replacing Nathan Lowe. And then it's really going to come down to, can Wyatt Langford, Evan Carter and Josh Young start to elevate their game and get somewhat close? And can the starting pitching stay healthy?
Yeah, I think that would be the word for me is healthy. If this team stays healthy, you could see them make the
Mm-hmm.
postseason. There's so many questions, and I've heard some people in fantasy sport in this fantasy world. They say each player has risk bucks or a
Mm-hmm.
risk number as tolerated associated with them. The higher the risk, the more you spend, the higher the risk is, or that kind of thing. So I don't know. I look at this team, and across the board, there are so many small pieces that could be out for. I'm going to say at least 2 weeks to four. Uh,
Yeah.
Throughout the season, it's tough. Evaldi, who's been good, but he's obviously had his injury concerns in the past. John Gray, same
Mm-hmm.
thing. Even Jacob DeGrom. I mean, we've already talked about him in the Fact or Fiction episode, which we did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I just don't feel super confident. And the offense was, I mean, the AL version of what the Braves did last year. It was so bad. It's night and day
Mm-hmm.
difference. They don't have a whole lot of money coming in with the network deal that's there. I think this is a little bit shifting of what's going
Mm-hmm.
on. I think I said my word. Did I say the word? Or did I just
Yeah, you
jump in?
said healthy.
Okay, that's what it was. I was like,
Yeah.
it's not solid, which is what I feel
Yeah.
about the health. It's not solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So lots of little pieces. Adolis Garcia, have you seen the picture of him though?
I haven't seen this year's. I saw last year's where he was just this
I don't know,
ball of muscle.
dude. It's what it looks even more intense this year. Like it's insane. But I mean, you look at this. If I said Corey Seager was the MVP in the AL, could you believe that he has a path to it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Corey Seager is an incredible player. But it goes along with what you said. Health.
Hmm.
He has health. Issues sometimes himself. So it's gonna be one of those things where, yeah, health is going to play a huge role in this team being able to get back to the postseason.
Hmm. Well, and if Degrom was played as well as he has in the spring and stays healthy, then they could have
Yeah,
MVP and a Cy Young candidate on this team, and you're
yeah,
like, hey, well, all right. That means they're at least going to be decent. So we'll see.
yeah.
All right, we are gonna move on to the Seattle Mariners. Last year, second place, just missed the playoffs with 85 wins last year. We got Victor Robles, Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, Randy Rosarena. I like the names on that top of the lineup. Not too
Mhm.
sure about the rest of it. The word for me is hmm. And
Hmm.
yeah, I'm like, I think, I think that they have pieces to be competitive enough in this division. And we did a
Hmm.
fact and fiction on this division specifically about how many wins will it take. This is a team that literally plays for 85, 86 wins every year, it feels like, and to get hot at
Yeah,
the right time. And they have the starting pitching depth to, if they get hot at the right time, okay, that makes sense. But if they don't, that makes sense. Like that's where I'm at.
yeah, yeah. I put, please add some offensive uh, firepower to not waste this rotation. I mean, the rotation is so good,
Yeah.
and you have done nothing to add firepower to this offense to help out a guy like Julio Rodriguez or Cal Raleigh. I mean, we're looking at the possibility of you wasting one of the best rotations we've seen in baseball in quite some time. When you look at top to bottom, they've got 6 starters. I mean, there's going to be a guy that's not going to be in the rotation who could be a number 3 starter on another team in baseball. It's one of those things where you're just like so frustrated, especially if you're a Mariners fan, going, "What are we doing?"
Yeah. Yeah, you really just gotta hope that they can. Yeah, please is a great one to do. I don't know. If things work great, but I think that's the problem. Is I think we know what Cal Raleigh looks like. I think we
Mm-hmm.
know what Randy Rosarena is going to be, and
Mm-hmm.
Victor Robles is the question mark. Maybe he can set the tone. He's not almost 28 years old. Last year he was much better when he came over,
Yeah.
just to at least set the tone on the offensive side. I think this is a team that should have gone after a guy like Luis Arise. Just get. I think
Mm-hmm.
we talked about that in the offseason. It would have been a
Yeah.
great fit just to get the guy, Stephen Kwan. Give me a
Yeah.
guy who just gets on base, a
Mm-hmm.
Billy Bean type guy.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the Astros. 88 wins last year, 73 losses. Yeah, they a very different team than what you saw last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they still have Altuve. Yes, they still have Alvarez, but that and Jeremy Pena. But a lot of this team looks way different than it did even just 3 years ago.
Yeah.
What do you think the word is?
I put just maybe this could potentially be the start of the fall down for the Astros. All these guys are starting to get older. Within, you look at Altuve, how old he is. Alvarez is an incredible player. One of those guys that when you see him in the lineup, you're like, oh man, I don't want to pitch that guy, but he's got to be able to stay on the field more. I love the Christian Walker addition. Even though he's 34, he's still a really productive first baseman. I have questions with the rotation with some of the guys that are injured. Can Blanco, replicate what he did
Yeah.
last year? The bullpen is still really strong. I just feel like we saw it last year where they still won the division, but barely. Each year they're starting to take a step back, and I think this is the year where you could potentially see the Rangers and Seattle both jump them and maybe potentially push them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think if I'm going to give it a word, I'm going to say it's a phrase again, and it's fifth in the lineup. This is a team that, like, I could see them making a couple productive plays, but
Mm-hmm.
honestly, they're not my best bat anymore. They're not the best player, and I'm hoping that, yes, that their name comes up in that ninth inning, great, or the pinch hit, great. But like, I really would much rather it be someone else, and that's why
Yeah.
I think for this team, it's that we're starting to see that drop off. And we did say this. I think it was like our second year of the podcast. We were like, "Look, it's happening," and then they turned it around. They put it together, but
Yeah.
this does feel different. I am
Mm-hmm.
interested to see what Christian Walker does. I do like him there. I'm not a huge fan of Isak Paredes or however you want to say it, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the right fit. We'll see. I still like Jeremy
Mm-hmm.
Pena, but he's literally the sixth in the lineup is what he's projected to be, and that's
Yeah.
almost what I'm. So when I see that, I'm like, well, that's what I project here. This is what I see in this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and Pena really hasn't done much, really, compared to what he did a couple of years ago when he had that incredible postseason.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's move on to the Colorado Rockies. Oh, Tubby, is it my turn or your turn to go first?
Your turn.
All right. Pass. That's what it's going to be. Pass. I don't want to talk about this team. Chris Bryant's penciled in as the DH, and what a fall off this guy's had. And that's just the team. There's no direction for
Yeah.
this team. They're passing this year, so I'm going to pass as well. I don't have a whole lot of takes here. Not a
Yeah.
whole lot
No.
of reason other than to go. Only reason to go to this baseball game is because you love baseball and it's a beautiful stadium.
Yeah. Yeah. I put same. It's still the same team as
Same.
last year. I mean, you did nothing to improve the team. Didn't trade away players. You still have the worst rotation and worst bullpen in baseball.
hmm
That's it. I mean, there's nothing exciting about this team.
Yeah, I think this is the weird thing is in the past you had poor pitching or a little bit
Mm-hmm.
below average pitching because it is the Rockies, but
Yeah.
you like literally in the Rockies, but you had a powerhouse of an offense. And if you
Yeah.
look at this offensive lineup, it is by far the worst projected lineup that you see right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about in the previous episode, it's the worst I've seen.
Yeah.
Weighted WRC plus, they have one above average. That is inexcusable. And it's not Chris Bryant for the record. One above 100. Insane
Ezekiel
to see.
Tovar. Is that who it is?
Nolan Jones, which makes sense.
Nolan
There's
Jones.
still a lot of the hype around him, so we'll see if he
Oh,
stays healthy. But
man.
he's the only one. And this is
Yeah.
an inexcusable for this team in this ballpark.
That's yeah, for sure.
So we did forget to do real quick. We're gonna loop back. We'll come back to the
Oh,
division.
okay.
Give me the projections of who you think wins the division, the standings for the in AL West. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Mariners. Even though we talked about the offensive deficiencies, I think the pitching is so good that it can still push them there. I'm going to go the Rangers, Astros, Athletics, then of course the Angels.
Yeah, I would say give me the Mariners, Astros right there. It's gonna be close. I think 85
Mm-hmm.
to 88 wins again is the number that this needs. The Rangers will be close. I think they're going to be in the
Mm-hmm.
82 range, and then the A's almost. I think you'll see them take 7 to 10 game leap, but the
Yeah.
Angels they're going to be pushing again
Yep.
for that same number. So almost the same. I think we both. Well,
Yeah.
it is the same.
Yeah, we just flip
Oh,
flop
flip the
the
Astros.
Rangers and
Yeah,
the Astros. Yeah,
yeah.
which I mean,
So
I think those top threes you flip a coin and go, yep, that's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on now to the San Francisco Giants. 80 and 82. So many teams have relocated recently. For some reason, I was like, wait, is it still San Francisco? Or have we changed the name? Nope, still the Giants. Great. Okay. 80 and 82 last year. What's the word?
I put okay. You made some additions, but you're still not good. You're still not a playoff caliber team. Adding Willie Adames is good. but he's one of those guys that, if he had a bad year, you'd be like, yeah, you can see that happening because he signed a big contract. And then you signed
Yep.
Justin Verlander, who's 40 plus. How much more does he have left in the tank? So I mean, yeah, you made some additions, but you really haven't done anything else outside of that.
Yeah. Um, Missing, I think is what it is. There's still a missing piece, and they've been
Yeah,
searching for this missing piece for the last couple of years.
yeah.
I think they do feel like maybe they found Justin Verlander on the offensive or the pitching side of things. And
Hmm.
honestly, if you looked at this rotation, this is one of the better rotations in baseball if they're healthy. Logan
Yeah.
Webb, Verlander, Robbie Ray, Hicks, and Kyle Harrison's the fifth right now.
Yeah.
It's good balance. I mean, you got some Cy Young winners, but I
Hmm.
don't know that I necessarily think it's going to be healthy all year long. But no one is.
Yeah.
So that's just where I'm at. They're still missing something. I do like Heliot Ramos. I like him a
Hmm.
lot. Matt Chapman is okay, and yeah, Lamont Wade is also pretty good. There's some good pieces here, but it's just they're missing something.
Yep.
A lot of that power. They really haven't had the power since who retired or got blackballed and couldn't get back in the
Yeah.
league.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And this, I think, might be one of your scarier teams that you look at this year. And so I'm going to label this word as scary. The Arizona Diamondbacks last year, 89 and 73. I think they got better this offseason. I really
Yeah.
do. Corbin Carroll is going to be healthy after the offseason. You got Ketel Marte, who's a possible dark horse MVP candidate. He's already been there. Uh, the lineup is solid, assuming Eugenio Suarez stays where he was before. The
Hmm.
rotation is another really, really good rotation. You got
Yeah.
Corbin Burns. I mean, this Zach Galli, Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez. This to me is possibly the best rotation in baseball if they all stay healthy. And
Hmm.
but watch out, this is a scary team.
Yeah. I put dark horse. I think this team is a absolute dark horse in the NL. Like you said, Corbin Carroll has, yeah, it is spring training, but Corbin Carroll has looked like Corbin Carroll in spring training. He was injured a whole lot last year, dealing with the injury from the end of the season before. He's really starting to. He came on towards the end of the season. He's looking really good during spring, and like you said, that rotation, the signing for Corbin Burns has not been talked about enough. It was such a big signing that surprisingly they didn't talk about it enough. Your rotation's so good that you have a guy like Jordan Montgomery who's is in the bullpen because your rotation is so deep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the biggest question mark for this team has always been the bullpen, but I do like the two guys they have possibly for
Mm-hmm.
the bullpen. So
Yeah.
feeling good. And the old Cardinal, Shelby Miller, got a non-roster invite to the spring there.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it works out. All right, let's move on to. I think this might be one of them and the Giants might be your least favorite team, the San Diego
Mm-hmm.
Padres.
Yeah.
Last year, 93 and 69 for so many years. This has been the team that they said this is the year, this is year. This is the first year in a while that they've said nope. Well, I guess last year they did say they stopped saying it too because of Otani,
Yeah.
but they were supposed to be the team that was taking down the Dodgers. Is this the year? I mean, you tell us, Tubby.
I put good. I still think they are a good team, and they could still be a threat in the NL. But there's some things within this lineup that I'm not, super excited about. If you're having Jason Hayward being everyday outfielder,
I
that's a
knew that was
problem.
going to be your guy, Jason
I
Hayward.
mean, I love Jason Hayward as a platoon guy out in the outfield because he's
Sure.
still a really good defender. But the bat is nowhere near where it needs to be for an everyday major league outfielder. Then I look at the back end of the rotation with Joe Musgrove out, because of Tommy John. You look at Kyle Hurt and Nick Pivetta. Pivetta's a decent, veteran pitcher, but if one of those two guys go down, or someone else like Dylan Cease or King or Darvish goes out for an extended period of time, your rotation is taking a massive hit.
Yeah. I like what you said with good. So I'm not going to use the same word. It was going to be in the same ballpark. I'm just going
Yeah.
to say fun. I think this is a team because San Diego is a beautiful place to watch a baseball game. You're going to have
Mm-hmm.
great weather. You're probably going to be playing the Dodgers quite a bit, or the Diamondbacks, or even the Giants. You're going to get a lot of the high profile teams. This is a fun team to go watch play. You get lots
Mm-hmm.
of studs, stars out there. Manny Machado. There's so many pieces to like. Uh, if I do that, I think they'll be in the NLCS. No, I mean, don't want to sneak that preview out there too much
Yeah.
because of some of the things that you said. But offensively, I'd watch this team play. This, if you love baseball, go watch this team.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Jackson
mean,
Merrill, come on.
yeah, Jackson Merrill is an upcoming star. And then you got Fernando Tatis, two really exciting players to watch.
Mhm. Well, speaking of just a team, they're gonna. This just in. Sorry, breaking news: the Dodgers have decided to rename their team to Los Angeles MVPs because it's stacked with MVPs from top to
Yeah.
bottom, award winners, whatever you want to say. Tell me what's the word?
So mine's not a word, mine's a phrase. I put
Okay.
"catch me if you can."
Yeah, that's so good.
I
No, we
mean,
can't.
it's the truth. Everyone's looking at the Dodgers right now, and you look at the team that just won the World Series, and you go, "Wow, they got that much better."
Yeah,
I mean, you sign just the additions that you brought in. Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki,
dude.
Tanner Scott,
I
Kirby
don't
Yates,
want to.
Sung Kim, Michael Conforto, who's had a really good spring training for them as a platoon outfielder, and then you bring back Blake Trinan, Teo, and Kike and Kershaw. This team is going to be tough to beat, even if they deal with injuries like they did last year. They are so deep
Dude.
that it would have to be like catastrophic injuries, like where you have so many of your top guys go down for them not to be able to compete for a World Series.
Yeah, record is what I would say. I don't think they're going to win 116 games,
Mm-hmm.
but if a team was going to this year, it's unfair. It is
Yeah.
unfair that lineup that they have. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they move Max Muncy to the Cardinals for obviously Nolan Arenado. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of those pieces of the lineup. I'm like, they. Why is it a weak spot? It's not. It's still Max Muncy. I think he's
Yeah.
penciled as a third baseman, but
Yeah.
like it's just,
Yeah.
you could go get Arenado. You could trade something and make this even more ridiculous. This is a video game lineup right here. This is ridiculous.
It really is. It's one of those things where you get like on MLB the show and you turn off where they can't reject the trade and they automatically have to accept it.
No,
That's pretty much what you're looking at right now. I mean, the
yeah,
team is scary deep.
I got it now. Do you remember fantasy basketball with Derek's team?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
Derek's team in real life.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. It's like, and it's never your team. It's always his
Yeah.
team, except for in your case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop trading with him. You're not going to win the trade.
Yeah, exactly.
No, no, it's gonna be a good trade. Look at this. I got the rights to Ricky Rubio.
Yeah.
Like, no. All right, Tubby, give me the division a breakdown of who you got winning this division, top to bottom.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers are clearly the front runners. Then I've got the Arizona Diamondbacks second. I think they leapfrog the Padres this year. Then I got the Padres, Giants, and Rockies.
Yeah, same order here. I do
Mm-hmm.
think you could see three teams with 90 plus wins,
Mm-hmm.
and two of them could push 100. I think
Yeah.
obviously the Dodgers, they are a better team than 98 wins that they had last year.
Mm-hmm.
Health will be a big sign on the pitching side of things, but I mean, they cruised to a 5-game win in that division last year. But
Yeah.
you could see them push what they had the couple of years before. But honestly, 98
Mm-hmm.
wins puts them in a comfortable position to cruise into the playoffs. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't go too crazy there. And who knows? Like you said, Tubby, maybe they don't want to win that bye.
Yeah. If you look at past history, you don't want it.
Yeah, we could have said Death Star. That was, I think, another good word for this.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah.
is this division is the best division in baseball.
It really is.
Yeah,
I think
as
I
bad
think
as the
this
Rockies are.
division, I think this division and the AL East could be the two most exciting.
Mm. Least exciting, go.
The NL Central, AL Central, whichever Central you want. But I
Give
mean,
me the NL Central's worst because at
yeah,
least the AL you have Bobby Witt, you got Jose Ramirez, you got some MVPs.
yeah, and I think I mean, even the AL West isn't going to be super exciting. I don't think either.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. Those are the two divisions, the AL West and the Central and the NL,
Mm-hmm.
that were the like, hey, 85. Could we
Yeah,
say 85? Yeah, we'll
yeah,
see. Well, guys, that's the podcast. That is all 6 divisions broken down over the last couple episodes. So, one, if you missed any of them, go back and you can rewatch those or re-listen to those wherever you're consuming your podcast. And if you haven't already, make sure you share this podcast with someone who's just looking for a good sports podcast. One that doesn't say just random outlandish things to get views. We don't do that. We just bring it to you straight. You just got to listen, and we promise if you do, hopefully you'll be more informed, but you'll just enjoy the conversation around sports because that's what it's all about, right, Tubby?
absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, that's what we started it on.
exactly. So you just got to listen, be a part of the podcast, subscribe if you haven't already. Till them later. We'll see you all next time.
See ya.
See you.